As a man on a mission, I am constantly on the move. My work takes me to different places from all walks of life. In the process of time, I have met many successful people with different backgrounds and with different drives. One thing has been common among them all. Like me, they don't compromise on quality. Which is why each day as I leave home to face the world, I drive straight to the one place I know I can refuel for the day because I am assured of quality fuel at an affordable price.
No more! Over the mouse, big salute. Mujang triple S.
Na triple S no yɛ dɛn.
Make them tell you. Factor social distance health.
Here at Santor, quality is affordable.
At Junction Energy, quality is affordable. Clean fuel, friendly service.
The expansion of renewable energy is imperative not only to fulfill our electrical needs, but also to help cut down carbon gas emissions and in combating climate change. The key sources include hydro, solar, wind, wave, and bioenergy. It is estimated that 50 to 100 megawatts of solar energy potential remains untapped in Ghana. Welcome to Energy Quest. We are talking clean energy today. Did you know that SPS, a wholly owned Ghanaian solar equipment production company in Tema, is the only solar PV manufacturer in West Africa? We'll go there. Come with me.
So this is SPS Solar Photovoltaic Module Production Factory. We produce what you call solar panels that are used as part of the solar system to generate electricity.
Wow. So how long has this factory been here?
This factory was, the construction started in 2014 and the factory was completed in 2015.
Okay.
And we fully commissioned the factory on March 31st, 2016. That's when we actually commissioned the factory and started running production.
Oh, wow. So what level is production now?
Well, the currently installed equipment set can produce about 30 megawatts a year on 2 shifts. And that's about equivalent to 100,000 PV modules. And we're actually in the process of upgrading the factory to a newer equipment set with newer technology, which will also give us 5-fold the capacity we currently have, which is about 150 megawatts. That's the first where the production line starts. Again, we have some supporting machines which cut some of the components that go into the production.
Oh, it's done from scratch here
Yeah, so
in this place.
Right here you have glass. This is what you call prismatic solar glass, right? It's special made glass for the solar panels, right? So these are pre-cut according to the 3 different sizes we manufacture in Ghana.
Okay.
And these come from the supplier from Asia, already pre-cut to the size we want, right?
Wow.
And then we have another cutting machine that cuts the EVA, which is ethylene vinyl acetate.
Okay.
That is a key component that protects the cells out in the field so that they can last up to 25
Longer.
years. Yes.
25
Yes,
years?
yes. This is an air compressor that generates compressed air for the machines.
Okay.
Because most of the machines, the movements and things are actuated by compressed air, pressurized air. So that's what this air compressor does. Now this first machine is probably the most important machine in the whole line, right? It's actually called a Taba stringer.
Okay.
And what you do here is that this is where the whole process starts, okay? Which is you have these cells, right? These are the cells that go into making the panels, okay?
Okay.
So with these cells, again, once the sunlight hits the cells, it's absorbed by these cells, and then it generates current, which starts to flow, and then that generates electricity. So it takes the ribbon, right, and then connects the cells together, so that this cell plus that cell plus that cell are electrically connected.
Yeah, to conduct together.
Yeah. So then you take this. Oh, I can handle it.
Okay.
And then you insert it here. And what happens here is that once you insert the strong cells, and then you close the door.
Okay.
Right. Again, then you program on the machine, and this does it. It picks and places the strong string of cells.
Okay.
And puts them on a glass. So you put the glass.
Okay,
as you
the
can
glass
see here.
we looked at.
So,
over
so
there.
you have the glass and the EVA, the sheet that I said protects the cells. So that's already here, right? So then it does this layout process, right? Where, as you see, the robot will pick and place precisely
on it.
Yes, the columns, right? So it picks and places this one, and it places them precisely, right?
Okay.
Now, as you can see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns.
Okay.
And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 6 by 10. This is a 60 cell panel.
Cell panel, okay.
We have a size that will be 36, which is 6 by 6, and then we have one that's 72, which is a 6 by 12. So depending upon the size, you program that into the machine, and it picks and places precisely to start forming the panel.
This is
so this is
really
actually how you start
interesting.
forming the panel. Right?
Very interesting.
And the next step is what we call, it's a manual step.
Okay.
We call this the bussing step.
The
right?
what?
The bussing.
Bussing.
Yeah, with a double S, so B-U-S-S-I-N-G.
I-N-G,
right?
yeah,
It's called
okay.
bussing. The reason it's called bussing is that you take these larger
That's copper too.
copper with tin and silver ribbons. These are
Okay.
larger ribbons. And you connect the cells that are strung together. This is how you connect them to the outside world. Okay, so essentially you connect these in parallel, and then they all come through these 4 leads. There's a 4th one here. So this is how all the power that comes to the cells come through here and come
Conducts
outside.
it, okay.
That's how you get it to come out into
okay,
whatever facility you're powering, right? Okay, so from the bussing side, we go into what we call the laminator. Okay.
Okay.
This is where you seal the panel.
Compact.
Yes. You encapsulate everything so that no water, no moisture, no dirt can get
Can assess it.
inside to damage the cells. Okay.
Okay.
Then we go to the framing
Okay.
station. So you want to come this way. So once we're done with the laminator, then the panels come here. And the first step is an inspection step. Okay, where this thing it has a suction.
Okay.
4 suction. It grabs the panel, and then they lift it up, and then you'll be able to inspect to see whether there's any issues
Everything
on
is
the
intact?
front. Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Right. And the next step is to frame the panels with the aluminum bars. At the same time that we install the frame, we also install what you call the J box. The junction box, J box for short. The junction box is where the output leads that we bust, they get connected here, so that this is the electrical connection to the rest of the system, right?
Okay.
So that whatever power is produced from the panel, it goes to the junction box, and then it goes out and then combines it to go into the inverter, right?
Beautiful.
Which produces the electricity.
Okay.
So once you frame and you put the J box on, then now you're ready to test the panel. Okay. So once it gets here,
testing station.
yes. Once it gets here, you have to orient the panels so that they're vertical. All right. Horizontal, you want to put it vertical.
Okay.
So we do that here. This machine moves it, and then it just
Turns it
turns it
in.
90 degrees to make it vertical, right? And then from here, you go to your first test site, okay, which you just move this over.
Okay.
This tester is called a high pot tester.
Okay.
High pot for high potential tester.
Okay.
What this does is that it runs about 3,000 volts of power through the module.
Okay.
So you test it at very high voltage because these panels are rated for minimum 1,000 volts.
1,000?
Yes, and even up to 1,500 volts.
Okay.
But we test them at 3,000 volts to make sure they won't break down.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the first electrical test. And then once that is done and they pass, then they come into, this is what you call the sun simulator, okay?
The sun
simulator,
okay.
right? Or the IV tester.
Okay.
What that does is essentially simulates putting the panels out in the
what
sun.
it will be like
Yes,
if it's in the
yes.
sun. Yeah, okay.
And for every panel that we produce, it has a unique serial number. If you can show, every panel has a unique serial number,
Okay.
okay, which includes the date of production
Oh, wow.
and the number,
So you have-
the sequence of the panel in terms of how many we produce that day. Electroluminescence machine,
Okay.
or EL machine to be short,
EL
right?
machine, okay.
And what you do is that you put the panels here, you connect the J-box
Mm-hmm.
output to the machine, right? Because it flows current through it
Okay.
and actually gets an image. So you actually get you get a visual image
Okay.
of the front of the panel, right? Again, you're gonna see some of that image in some of the footage we're gonna give you, because it almost as if it takes a picture
Okay.
showing the front of the panel, but it will be
various
like in dark phase. So all you see are the cells.
Okay.
If there's any voids, any cracks, it will show on the
It will
image.
show.
Right. So whoever is doing it will stand there. If this panel has a void or a crack cell, we reject it. Even one cell, we reject it.
Okay.
Yeah. So once the panels are tested, they go through all the 3 tests and they
Okay.
pass. Then we actually frame them. We shrink wrap them, right?
Yeah.
So as you can see there, we put a skid here, and then we shrink wrap them, and
Okay.
then they're ready to go into the warehouse or to picked up by a
then-
client.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So
Beautiful.
again, yeah, these are samples of some of the panels that were produced in this factory, right? And these are actually the 60 cell.
Durable for 25
So like
years.
I said, this is 6 by 10. So this 60
Yeah,
cell. We
yeah.
have larger ones which are 72 cell, and this is a 36 cell, which is 6 by 6.
Yes, so Jacob, your solar PV model factory that we experienced is just world class. Can you tell me SPS, what does it really stand for?
So SPS stands for Strategic Power Solutions. And we just use SPS as an acronym for branding and marketing purposes.
Okay.
But overall, SPS is a renewable energy company, but also we've actually broadened our scope to include energy efficient products
Okay.
like air conditioning, LED bulbs, solar powered water pumps, solar water
Okay.
heaters, and things like that.
Okay, so the air conditioning and all are already on the market.
Yes, we have our ACs on the market. We have both inverter type ACs, which are 20% more energy efficient. We also have pure solar ACs, right?
Okay, okay.
We also have the water pumps, solar powered water pumps, and also the solar water heaters.
So is SPS wholly Ghanaian owned?
SPS is wholly Ghanaian owned. SPS actually was a subsidiary of Strategic Security Systems International, which is a Ghanaian holding company. And just over the last couple of years, SPS is now a legal entity on its own.
Okay.
Like I said, the management of SPS is Ghanaian. We pretty much manage all our affairs, except when we started out, we used Italian
Foreign.
consultants and obviously suppliers from Germany, Japan, China, and other parts of Europe to help us get things going in terms of the raw materials and the equipment.
Okay. So considering how standard and world-class your facilities are, how was this factory set up?
So in the very beginning, when our parent company, Strategic Security, decided to invest in this factory and this type of work, we actually hired a couple of Italian consultants who had
Okay.
expertise in the solar PV module manufacturing business. So through the consultants, we were able to figure out all the details in terms of the type of equipment, the raw materials, the process we needed to set up to do this.
Okay.
And so that actually occurred going all the way back to 2013, 2014. But once we got the equipment site figured out, we decided to actually start the solar operation with a Japanese company called MPC.
Okay.
And so they provided the main components of the equipment of the production line, which is the tablet stringer, the layup machine, and the IV tester, and the EL machine. So those are the key components, and that was provided by MPC Japan.
By the Japanese.
However, they also are in partnership with a German company, Minitech, that does the framing and the inspection station, also the high pod tester. So a combination of MPC Japan and Minitech, most of the line was set up with that equipment supplier. However, we procured the laminators, which is a key reliability part of the whole process. Those were procured from China, from Blue Solar. And then we have a few support equipment like the air compressor, which come from Italy.
So as a setup, have any Ghanaians been trained to man the place as well?
Yes, in the beginning, before the consultants and the equipment suppliers came to Ghana, a handful of our crew went to Japan and also to Italy to get trained on the technology. But then when the equipment supplier came to Ghana to help us install the equipment in the factory, all the crew, our production people, our technicians, our maintenance team got trained. So we got hands-on training as we were doing the installation work. And then once the installation was completed, during the commissioning process, and also even some startup production training was done before we started ramping up production in 2016.
So what's your staff capacity?
Currently, we have about 30 in all so far as SPS, and the bulk of that is comprised the production crew and the technical team that does installation and maintenance of our systems in the field. So we have about 18 technicians who are either HND, electrical engineering, electronic engineering, or actually got their four-year degrees, right? Either electrical engineering or electronic engineering. So far as the factory itself, on one shift, we actually run with about 12 core production personnel. And then we have about 3 material handlers and staff who help move things around, raw materials coming in and finished goods going to the warehouse. In some ways, we also have currently 1 engineer who does both the system design and also supports the factory.
Okay, so how many of those are Ghanaian and how many are women?
Well, so SPS is, as I indicated, wholly Ghanaian owned. And I'm actually the assistant general manager, operations manager, and all the operations aspect of the company is under my management, right? Now, for the factory, all the production crew right now are men, but we're looking to integrate some female, qualified, highly trained female into our workforce. And just earlier this year, we partnered WINE, which is Women in Engineering. It's a national association to try and help us identify and recruit qualified Ghanaian women to be part of our workforce. And that also we include the management level. We currently actually looking for a CFO, and we hope we can get a very qualified
female to take the role.
Join our management team.
Okay, we're great advocates of that because there are fewer women in the industry. So, yeah, we wish you the best in finding females to fill up your roles. So what's the capacity of your factory?
So currently with the equipment that we have installed, we can produce 30 megawatts a year, which is equivalent to about 100,000 panels a year. However, the new equipment line that we bring it in has a capacity of 150 megawatts a year, which translates to almost 500,000 panels on PV modules a year.
For that capacity, are you going to supply beyond Ghana? Or are you already supplying beyond the Ghanaian market? So
currently, we supply PV modules to Liberia and also to Nigeria. We actually in discussions even with a distributor in Zambia to start looking at distributing some of our products in Zambia.
So what major installations have you done so far?
Yeah, so again, with SPS, we actually set up in 3 different groups, right? Within the SP, we have the production side, we have the product side, and we have the EPC side, which is the projects, right? And so the projects that we've done that are worth mentioning is we have a 30 kilowatt system at Bui Power.
Okay.
And that is just to power the building, provide electricity for the lights and light loads. However, that's a stepping stone to develop a utility scale project with Bui Power up north, which will be a 50 megawatt utility scale power plant. All right. Beyond that, we're currently finishing up 912 kilowatt peak, which is almost 1 megawatt at Jubilee House, which we finished. It's in 4 phases. We finished 2 phases, and the second phase is actually a carport structure, which is essentially having solar panels on the carport, right, where it generates electricity, but also has parking for the cars. The 2 remaining phases are actually for where the president parks his car, and also where the vice president parks his car. So that'll be 2 additional carport structures. But the total capacity of that, again, would be 912 kilowatt peak. And we're almost at the tail end of that project. We've also done 2 projects for former President Kufuor, and both are at his Peduasi residence. Initial was a 20 kilowatt installation, and we upgraded that with an additional 60 kilowatt peak, so a total of 80 kilowatt peak at that site. We've also partnered our mother company, Strasec, to deploy solar street lights across all the cocoa growing regions across Ghana. So almost every region in Ghana, we have our solar street lights and small systems in common areas where the communities can come together and watch TV, charge their phones, and kind of read and have some electricity. In fact, most of these rural areas don't even have access to grid electricity. We've also partnered the Ministry of Special Development, Special Initiative, to do solar-powered borehole water pumps, water systems, which use solar to power DC pumps to pump water from the ground to storage tanks. So this also across various rural areas.
Very significant project. Are you specifically doing anything for rural development, maybe in terms of corporate social responsibility?
Yes, again, the Cocoa Board project, which is across the country, is actually a CSR project for Cocoa Board that we helping them implement. So far as the solar-powered borehole water pumps, again, that's considered CSR because it supports the communities, and these are communities that even don't have access to water. In terms of there's no Ghana water pipelines, so we just have to get the water from the ground, pump it up to storage tanks so they have water throughout the day.
And then you attach the solar.
Yeah, so that one, it comes with a solar panel with a submersible DC pump. And so the solar generates the power with storage batteries, and then they pump up the water.
Which areas in Ghana?
Oh, various areas. In fact, I don't have, one example is we have a clinic in Kaswa that is nearby that is using the solar-powered borehole water pumps to pump water into water storage tanks to use for the clinic. Yeah, so apart from the projects I've mentioned, which are more related to government or autonomous government entities, we've also embarked on an aggressive drive to do what you call commercial industrial projects. And these will be with factories, with businesses like banks that just need power for their operations, right? Again, we've got some very good reception, and we've installed a few systems already. We're also looking at other residential properties, and this could be anywhere from a 10 kilowatt system all the way up to a 100 kilowatt system, right? Again, the hope is that we will offer solutions also to employees of various companies. If they want small systems, maybe they can have some financing program through their company or their banks so that we can actually supply this to the various consumers. Yes.
Wow. Kudos, people.
Thank you.
Clearly, clean energy is the future. This is what we do on Energy Quest. We demystify the energy sector. Till we meet again. Ciao.
Immediately the product was actually introduced to me, I wanted to get on it, and that was the Gold Check account, guys. This has actually changed my business. So on the First National Bank app, you have the business toolkits that gives you all the information that you need to run your business, and whatever inquiries you have, they're always ready to answer. And that makes life very easy for me. And you have the in contacts that helps you access every transaction that takes place or happens. Now, point of sales terminal. I market wherever I go, and so I love to have that so I can take payment, especially with those who tell me I do not have cash. A bank that understands that you can start life all over again or start a business from scratch. Very keen on running it and making sure that you grow to the core. It's one you should look out for. My name is Jifa Bekre Gray, the CEO of Jifa Gray Creations. I recommend that you sign up to the Gold Check account from First National Bank for a great banking experience.
Did you miss an episode of Energy Quest? Watch all episodes on YouTube at Energy Quest TV or Kente TV. Also catch up on the Daily Graphic YouTube page and website. Energy Quest, looking into the future.